Designing PowerPoint, creating slides with visual power. There are two channels in which we communicate. One is through words and the other is through imagery. When you combine both words and images, your communication is stronger. By adding a transparent box, your text can go on top. When you display text on a slide, make sure it's readable. If you can't find an image with a negative space to place the text, you may need to overlap a box. By covering up part of the image with a box, the audience is able to focus on the girl's face and the fact that she is singing. This image is also effective because her eyes line up with the title. The box is dark enough so that the white text can show through, and it is transparent enough so that we can see the image below the box. Also, when looking at a photo, people tend to look at the eyes and mouth for meaning. If you place the main text across from the eyes, the viewer is more likely to naturally see the text. Why doesn't this layout work? The layout is basically the same as the previous example, or is it? This layout creates confusion as the viewer's eye shifts back and forth from the text to the woman singing. In the previous example, the text lined up with her eyes. You may find that this layout creates anxiety because your eye doesn't know where to land. This image is long horizontally. We see the faces, but they have been dimmed with a blue overlay. The blue color allows the white type to be clearly seen. This type of layout also provides plenty of room for text. Another way to display text is to add a box behind the text as you see here. If you want some animation, you can have the box slide out as you speak the words, or you can have the text box fade in and fade out. But be careful not to distract the viewer by over-animating. Animations such as blinds, checkerboards, peek in, random bars, wedges, wheels, wipes, etc. are almost always over the top. Avoid them. Yet another way to display text, especially nice for cover art, is to place a semi-transparent box over an image. What this does is give some visual interest and still see the title and other text. The second color helps to organize the material. In this case, the smaller colored text is the subhead. You can really do a lot with simple transparent boxes and simple images. When the text is limited, the visual effect works. The diagonal lines create a sense of movement and excitement. The image is of Ben Franklin, who is on our currency, so the brain infers that the image is about money or related to finances. The title, The Bank System, connects the visual with the image. What about a layout like this? Notice that the most important word, frontier, is larger than the words on the. The blue overlay is bold, and in this case projects a clinical scientific feel. Research shows that when we look at an image, our gaze travels foremost to anyone in the image, looking at their eyes first. People intuitively look at people's faces for meaning. In this case, the girl is at the point at which your gaze enters the image. Then, your eye navigates to the text directly horizontal. In this image, adding transparency to the photo pushes the girl to the background. The text becomes more powerful than in the previous example. It is always nice when your image has white space or negative space because you have an area to place text. Again, vary the size of your text to organize for understanding. Using the modality principle, don't put all the words on the slide. Add just enough to facilitate learning. The image adds visual interest without being cluttered. The hands on the clock lead you to the text. A simple image will bring your focus to the image. Images can be literal or illustrate a concept. In this image, the three circles repeat the basic layout of the pyramids. There are 3 large pyramids and 3 small ones. Using color, you're able to organize your text. The similarity in the circles create unity, and the colors create distinctions between the 3. This is a simple but powerful layout. The minimal text focuses the viewer's gaze on what is important. Be careful not to add too many words. This is another simple but powerful layout. Without even thinking, the mind knows that there are 4 groups of information. Because of the similarity in the design, the mind also knows the information is related but organized into 4 concepts. The large white type on the blue squares makes for easy reading. Although this slide is a strong visual example, it is also an example of what not to do when you are narrating your presentations. Notice that my narration is a separate conversation from the information on the slides. I spoke about the visual layout, but the message on the slide is about the line length and the amount of words to use. People are unable to listen to you and to read something entirely different at the same time. A slide like this causes cognitive overload, and I wonder how many students would pause the video so they're able to receive both messages. This layout organizes 6 thoughts into the design layout. If the text is kept to a minimum, reading comprehension will be quick and easy. Here is another example of organizing information. We see 4 separate columns. The wide space between the columns causes the eye to see 4 separate groups. Each column is further separated into 2 ideas. Care must be used when choosing colors. For more visual cohesion in each separate column, add 1 color and a tone of that color. For example, 1 column could be blue and a lighter blue, as you see here. Color is used to separate these 4 pieces of information. Because the broad lines have a similar width, the brain compares the length of the 4. 3 main concepts can be represented in this layout. A title added in the white space provides an overall understanding of the image. As in the previous slide, 3 main concepts can be represented in this layout. A title added in the white space provides an overall understanding of the image. This slide organizes 10 pieces of information. You should keep a consistent amount of space between each of the numbered artwork pieces. This keeps the image from quickly becoming visually confusing. Use a consistent font and type size to maintain unity. You can organize 3 main concepts in this simple yet powerful layout. The simple white space allows the eye to focus on the main information. The imagery creates some visual interest. Care must be used when using a visual like this one. As the visual becomes more colorful and busy, the eye is more easily distracted. To maintain strong communication, you should limit the amount of text displayed on the colored shapes. If you use too much text, readability will be negatively impacted. In this type of layout, you can convey several layers of thought. First, the background image shows a choir. This gives the viewer some idea of the slide's meaning. The visual is inferred almost subconsciously. Next, your gaze notices the multicolored circle with the singer's face directly in the center of the circle. Our brain focuses on the singer, and the circle is implied to have some relationship to the singer. Lastly, the circle is divided into 5 separate colors. Intuitively, our mind infers that the 5 colored pieces are related. They could represent a circular process or possibly the 5 parts of some information. As you can see, there are many ways you can create slides without packing them with text. Use clean, simple designs. Take some time and look at books and magazines for visual ideas. Advertisements, especially those by professional retail markets, are usually good sources. And of course, feel free to use any of the ideas here.